streams. I guess we just went live again, but what is the, how is this? If we go live with this one, what does that actually look like? So that's the question. Oh, there we go. We actually went live this time. There we go. All right. This time it worked. First time around it did not work. So this is going to be a trial and error. Ferdy, hey, how's it going? You're Gerst. It's always good to be Gerst. So um, this is going to be my first mobile live stream attempt. And so it should be pretty interesting, you know, as we go through this process and really try to identify, you know, what we're going to be doing in this live stream. So we got Silhouette Park Farm popping in here. So actually, it's pretty nice. I just started utilizing the new Streamlabs mobile app. So we'll get a couple people bouncing in here. Give me a thumbs up based on how the audio sounds. Might have to keep this relatively short. I got a few things I got to get out to do yet, but this will be great. You're going to be running, so not too many words out, but you're going to be listening. That's awesome. Audio is good, fantastic. Glad to hear that. Looks like the video is coming in pretty clearly as well. So hey, there's Jeff Rome popping in here. Awesome. So yeah, so this is gonna be great. You know, I'm excited about this. I wanted to get this all set up, make sure that we could continue to do some live streams. You know, kind of mobile. Also, we'll be doing some videos as we move forward as well. So Lorenzo, so this is the final change of names. Yeah. So anyhow, so so this is it. What we're working on here. We've completely rebranded Lorenzo, and for those of you that didn't see our official launch on Jungle Inc., but we did roll out onthechain.io this past week. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, go ahead and check out www.onthechain.io. And so I think you'll be really you know, excited in what you see. But you know, we're putting together an amazing solution. So we now have two branded channels. I rebranded the How to Review as On the Chain Live. We wanted to make sure that we were able to do you know, provide as much you know, critical content to the people we've been really building up as possible. And some of the things that you're going to see from some of the things that you're going to actually see from onthechain.io, we're already in video format. You're going to see podcasts rolling out this week, and you should start seeing some written blogs rolling out. IO. Think about that you're going to be able to interact with and get as much updated information as possible in the space. So there's Nick Black. What's going on? Good to see you logging in here. Hopefully I'm not timing out at all. But anyhow, so I just had some thoughts that I wanted to share, and you know, I was looking at some of the big movements. Bad connection for you, Enigma machine. Yeah, I'm looking at some, you know, spinning dial here, but my video is still working. You know, I don't know, you know, how that ends up working with YouTube when it does that. But so anyhow, so yeah, there he is, David D. What's up? Um, so yeah, so here's some things to consider, and again, you know, some of the things that I had on in mind, you know, first and foremost, you know, it's all about utility, and I think that we're beginning to see more and more movement in this space, focused in on real world utility, and you know, we're definitely seeing a lot of transition with some of the bigger software and hardware providers that are actually, you know, focusing in on, you know, blockchain adoption for different things. And so when we think about even right now we see some big swings in the valuation of digital asset. And so the question that we have to look at is, is this big swing in the valuation of digital asset, is it just a blip along the way? Is it, the market? Is it doom and gloom? What exactly is it? And what is going to bring about the bigger, movements and more stability, so we don't continuously see the ups and downs. Now, one thing that we could also look at is the stock market, and the stock market always has wide swings over long periods of time. You don't have the big swings like we're seeing within digital asset. You're not seeing something move by thousands of points, as you see with Bitcoin. Whereas at the same time, what we're witnessing, and we're trying to actively at least participate in some way, shape or form, is this new growing space. And really it's about, again, mainstream adoption. And it's about, in order for there to be mainstream adoption, we have to have utility. So again, when I was talking about, how is it that we have individuals, individual companies that some of us might not even have heard of yet. They haven't really have hit the news. They definitely haven't hit the blockchain, quote unquote, news out there. And to me, it's really amazing, because blockchain technology is obviously here to stay. Blockchain technology is a game changer across multiple industries. We're seeing it utilized in the oil industry. We're going to see it in the fashion industry. We're going to see it in the agricultural industry. We're definitely seeing it within the supply chain industry, shipping, so for transit. There's so many dynamics of where blockchain really fits. And then you say, okay, so if blockchain is growing, it could be that many of those spaces aren't actually developing. Those spaces aren't necessarily developing in the digital asset along with the growth of blockchain. However, right now in existence, as all these other spaces are going through trials and tribulations of really trying to identify where they fit, we see one primary digital asset that has been really adapted into real world utility. And I'm sure you guys know exactly which digital asset that is being merged into real world utility. And right now there's one, and that's XRP. We're starting to see a little bit with Ethereum, a little bit with Bitcoin. You're really starting to see some little changes here and there. You guys got to check this out. Hang on, let me see if I can move this the right way. Hang on. I don't know if you can see it. I got all this stuff here. I don't even know how to get rid of the text. So the text is just occupying my whole screen. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, freaking awesome view over here. Absolutely freaking amazing. It's great. It's really great that I've got some things popping up over here. So there we go. Just moving the view around. Yeah, let me just go back here. Let me take a look at some of the comments that are popping up here. Scarbado Sun, man, everything's awesome. There's Blockchain Monkey, Frank, all the way in from Delaware, Texas. XRP, what's up, man? Over here, later in the week, man, I'm gonna pay a visit to Liechtenstein, and gonna go check that out. And my anticipation is to make some videos, as we go through this space. And one of the big draws to being in Switzerland is that this is the place that has really adopted regulatory clarity for digital asset, for blockchain. And so many companies are moving to Switzerland right now that it's mind-boggling, to see, even down to the point where Facebook with Libra, where do they want to move? Their primary office for Libra is in Switzerland. And the big question is, why are all these companies coming over to Switzerland? Obviously, there's a good reason when government and overall there's clarity in the space. And so when there's clarity in the space, companies are going to move where it's easier for them to function and operate. And so really, I'm hoping that I'll get some opportunity to, get some firsthand, experience with some of these companies. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that opportunity. However, we will definitely pay a visit to Liechtenstein. So, and that's key. Lorenzo, just from checking out the OTC page, I'm loving where you guys are going with this. Man, Lorenzo and everybody else that's on right now, we're just getting started. There's going to be so much to come, so many plans that we have. We're looking for, James Ryan definitely doing the video in style. Mr. V over here in Switzerland right now. So, but man, there's just so much. It's just phenomenal. Some of the things that we can get into, and again, seeing some development in the space throughout the week. I'm going to try to make some decent videos and do some short clips, and so that way we can share more thoughts, share more scenery as well. And this is the space. Again, this is the country where a lot of the many and probably more companies from the U.S. are going to end up coming to, and mainly again based on clarity, and regulation is key. And so I think David D here, he says the market's still being driven by stories and narratives, not utility for now. We need regulatory clarity in the U.S. before XRP takes off. Lawmakers aren't saying XRP because it's unclear for financial institutions, and that's definitely true. There's just so much that has to happen, especially in the United States. And so for the fact that within the U.S. and obviously as I look through this list, there's people in different parts of the world that are commenting, and so what regulatory clarity is really the same. Whether you're here sitting in Switzerland, or you're sitting in the UK, or you're sitting over in Australia, or in the US. For us in the US, it's really important because the US led the high tech boom. Obviously, all countries ended up participating in it, but ground zero for high tech was Northern California. One of the things that blockchain and digital asset has brought us is that it doesn't have to be in one location. It could be anywhere in the world, and it can pop up in places that people don't even anticipate. We see blockchain and digital asset type companies that are popping up in Africa, in Asia, all over the place. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's about innovation, it's about entrepreneurship, and it's about giving people an opportunity to become entrepreneurs and make a difference in their lives, make a difference in the lives of them around, people around them, make a difference in their communities. That's significant, and I think we're just seeing the beginning of this. But my whole point, when I wanted to come on, I said, I got to get on and stream today, and it's all about looking at a lot of the comments, looking at some of the feedback that we're seeing even coming out of Ripple. And I've had so many conversations about Ripple because lately, as we get into talking blockchain, and I met some people that I had no idea that they were working on blockchain projects. And we're talking about pretty big projects, pretty significant. One of them is a CTO of a large organization, and I'm hoping to bring him on and do an interview with him. I talked to him yesterday about doing that, coming on to our roundtable discussion. On the Chain's going to have a roundtable, and so I want to invite him onto the roundtable. And again, I didn't expect that they were working in the blockchain space, and so many companies are exploring it, and there's reasons why they're exploring it. And the reason why the conversations always circle back to Ripple is because they're the ones that are actually solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem. Some people are looking for problems to fit into their product. Other people are looking for problems to solve. with a product, and that's Ripple. You know, Ripple is looking for that multi-trillion-dollar problem, that multi-trillion-dollar liquidity issue that is major issue when it comes to banking. So if you can anticipate or think about what that really means, what does it really mean for the global economy, to move away from banks tying up trillions and trillions of dollars in Nostro and Vostro accounts, or what does it mean to businesses globally to be able to move money in seconds instead of having it tied up for 3 to 5 days, and then some. It's monumental. And so the other day, we heard some statements coming from Ripple talking about the $10 trillion possibility, in this space. $10 trillion in innovation, $10 trillion in money that that's going to be out there in circulation. Think about all the money that's being tied up in these Nostro Vostro accounts that could be invested or otherwise used instead of just sitting waiting around for transactions that are taking forever. So it all comes back to, in my mind right now, and it's interesting, because when you look at the digital asset space, or the blockchain space, it's not about Ripple, it's not about XRP, it's about the technology, and there's a lot of great technology out there. You have the Bitcoin maxis, and you have maybe some Litecoin. I don't know if there's Litecoin maxis out there. Maybe there's Ethereum maxis. I'm sure there are. But there's only one that is really, that's it. Yeah, Nick Black says $10 trillion in stranded capital. But there's only one that has a real world utility that's being impacted and seen today, and that's XRP is the only digital asset right now that's fully engaged in a real world problem, and that's significant, and that really has some major implication, especially when you see this 30% investment by Ripple into MoneyGram, and looking at this real world test case being implemented on a regular basis. That's all telling. So we got a decent group that piled in today, man. A lot of people that we've seen for a while, and it's what's exciting about. I just want to make a quick segue here, and I want to segue over to before I segue, what is this here? Hang on. Let me read it from here. I can't. It's hard for me to look at the other phone. David D. Blockchain and technology solutions can innovate from anywhere, but the tipping point won't come until the U.S. financial institutions are legally cleared and are comfortable enough to participate. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's true too. That is definitely important, and one of the reasons why it's important for the U.S. is because the U.S. still does have global significance, and there's global implication as to what the U.S. does or doesn't do. So that's definitely honed in on a key point there. CoinLink, then why is it the worst performing asset in 2019? It hasn't gotten there yet, and I think all the assets, if you look at them up and down, I'm not going to say it's the worst performing. I think the whole market is speculative still, so just because there's good news, we don't have full utility yet. We have partial utility, and it's not even partial, it's just the beginning stages of utility, whereas with others you don't have any kind of real engagement yet, and so that's where it becomes significant, that's where it becomes meaningful, is that at least it's being utilized in a real world scenario, but it's not there yet. It definitely isn't there yet, and I think that's where, when you see these big movements and fluctuations, reaction to news, but many, or if not all, the digital asset, in my opinion, anyways, and it's just my opinion, are still tied together in this space, and they're just moving. It's just a flow up and down, up and down. Let's see. Banked Peterson, XRP a safe haven. Can't understand how people aren't able to see what happens in front of their eyes. Yep, Carl Wagner. Bitcoin has a zero use case, and Ether runs shit coins. XRP solves a real problem. XRP even makes more sense to build smart contracts on. Yeah. And then we have here, yeah, and that's interesting. You know, go enjoy. I'm just waiting. We're getting ready to go out here in a little bit, so I'm just enjoying sitting here. I could just sit here for a week, and enjoy this space. But let's see. Oh, so what I was going to say here, and I think this is, important, and this goes back to, what Carl Wagner is saying. XRP solving a real problem, and it was based on what I was saying before. I mean, it's one thing, to go and have a real problem and try to figure out how to solve it versus running around looking for problems with a product that you already have and seeing if any of the problems fit into your product. So that's definitely different. Nick Black, the SEC would bend the knee the second that pressure came from major banks. When the JP Morgans of the world tell the SEC to make a change, you'll get change overnight. Yeah, that's interesting. CoinLinked, I gave you a like just because you didn't give me a hyped up response. Man, CoinLinked, I appreciate that. You come onto our channel, if you check out our website, go check out onthechain.io. You're going to find, we put together a good starting group of content creators on onthechain.io, and On the Chain Live is just dedicated to live stream. If you go to On the Chain, our other YouTube channel, and we just rebranded 2 channels, but On the Chain, that's where you're going to find, and we're in the process of getting videos up, where you're going to find shorter segment videos that like, 5 to 10 minute segment videos that are easy to watch. We're also rolling out CoinLink. You're going to have podcasts rolling out this week. We're going to have blogs rolling out this week or next week. So there's a ton of things that are coming. Our goal at CoinLink and for everyone else out there is to provide level-headed content, level-headed information, non-hype. I don't believe in the hype. I think it's so important as I'm digging through the space. I want to find, legit information, and, I think that's really important. It's all about legitimacy, and I'm focused on, we have a lot of people here. I guess we just lost a few people are bouncing off, but, we have a lot of people in this space that have been in it for a while. Early adopters of this space, early adopters in the investment, from an investment perspective, and we're all okay with digging through YouTube and digging through podcasts and reading articles, in mass, to try to figure things out. When Main Street comes, Main Street is going to want, limited sources. They're going to want to go like they do now. You want to go to Yahoo Finance, that's where I'm going to get all my financial news. I'm going to go to onthechain.io, that's where I'm going to get all my cryptocurrency news and information. And our goal here is to continuously build on this platform that we started and start adding more and more key content creators that are going to bring and add value and non-hype to this space. And that's important. Just a bunch of FUD and FOMO doesn't get anybody anywhere. And even down to, it's interesting, we kind of analyzed this for a while as we developed this. And I tested out different things, rebranding my channel here that's now On the Chain Live, but pre-rebranding, I tested different things out, tested different titles out, and it's interesting, because, as you monitor it, and we're going to keep building it, and people are going to come, not because we're hyping anything, but because, we want to provide real information. And that's it. And mainstream is our target, so, and hopefully, we all, we all go, go along for the ride. So, anyhow, I guess I gotta jump off here, getting ready to run. But let me just put a last comment here, last note here. Let's see here from David D. Let me see. Let's see here. True, Jeff, but we lost too many good people to misinformation and lies from cartoon bears and YouTubers who created false expectations. I think that's true. That's definitely true. So let's leave it at that comment. Really appreciate all you guys for jumping on here. We'll definitely look forward to seeing you again soon. I know Chip also mentioned that he was going to work on a live stream this weekend, but definitely stay tuned for some videos that'll be, coming down, throughout this week, from multiple content creators. So again, appreciate all you guys and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take it easy. Have a great weekend.